Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Aruchak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. As always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David's hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now, check out this extreme display of pride, high level pride, coming out of this evil Edomite woman's mouth. Now, this is she's a televangelist and also Trump's advisor. Now, look what she's getting ready to say concerning Nero. All right, now it's spiritual in itself because if you understand about these Roman emperors, going back to the pagan Roman Empire, all of the emperors were seen as divine, especially in death. It would go through the Senate, and they would be revered as divine. They were supposed to be like a god, and people were seeing these men as such. So this woman right here, this is Trump's advisor. Listen to what she says concerning this devil, right? Let me play it real quick.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy. To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God.
So you see, this is why Trump has the level of pride that he has. One of the reasons. When you have somebody going around saying that you're God, saying no to him is like saying no to the Most High God. What she's trying to say is Trump is divine. Okay? You going against him is like going against the Most High. All right? And this is why, let's go to 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. In verse 3, it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first," which is what we've been seeing. People fell away from the understanding of who they are, the name of their God, how you serve them. Just to serve wood and stone, to serve a Edomite image. All right. And then today you got the spirit of apostasy will sell out Israelites, right? And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, all right, the Edomites, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, and these Edomites, they have a clear case of God envy. They have that God complex, where they really think more highly of themselves than they actually are, and just disregarding the fact that the Heavenly Father himself is who actually sets you up and put you in position. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel 4:17, it says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers and a demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the bases of men." But they forget to give the just due to the Most High, who sets these devils up. They get above themselves in their own head, thinking that they're the ones. And that's why it says in Obadiah, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee." So his advisor is just hyping this dude up to be some type of divine being. All right. And of course, Christianity, the plantation Christianity did a good job and basically developing, you know, his persona, his code of personality, where Trump is seen as this divine messianic figure who's going to bring America back to its heyday. But now you're seeing the deception that he is not in here for you at all. He's here to serve the interests of the powers that be, the international bankers, right, to set forth this new digital Tower of Babel, right? Put you under extreme surveillance, no privacy, no anonymity. All right, and he's setting up the system where which you're gonna have to receive a mark. He's being used for all these things, but y'all think this man is, he's another Messiah, messianic figure. All right. Obadiah 1:3, it says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock." Yeah, this guy in Trump, he's a good representative, man. He's super proud, man. Always saying what he's gonna do and don't do it. Always flip flopping on different things. Really, that's part of the ways we know that this devil's going down is the wisdom is perishing. The prudent men out of Teman, the wise men out of Edom is perishing because this guy have not been good, as far as making big on the things that he say that he would do. He keeps flip flopping, especially when it comes to Russia. Whether they're gonna step in and help NATO with Russia or turn around and tell them that, hey, just concede more land to Russia. We busy right now. Him going against blockchain technology and currency to now we're gonna be the crypto capital of the world. All these different things. So this is where the pride is seeping in. All right, and everything that he's doing is just causing more division, within his own administration, within his own military. It says, whose habitation is whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And the Roman Empire, they symbol was the eagle, and they exalted themselves, in those 12 feathers. I always bring out the example of when them wicked ass scribes and Pharisees, when they confronted Yahushua with that tribute coin, the denarius, and it had the face of I believe it was either Julius or Augustus Caesar. Let me go to that. Yeah. And you can read about this in Luke and Mark, when Yahushua told them, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. All right, and this is let me just read this. It says I'll read this. The biblical account, it says, on interpretation of the relevant passages, is that the Pharisee or spy asking Yahushua whether Roman taxes tribute should be paid was attempting to entrap him into admitting his opposition to doing so, and that upon seeing that the coin was a tribute penny, Yahushua avoided the trap by saying it should be given back to Caesar because it is his anyway. The Greek text uses the word denarion, and it is usually thought by scholars that coin was a Roman denarius with the head of Tiberius, right? So it's like, I said Julius or Augustus, but it's actually Tiberius, right? It says, it is the coin that is sold and collected as the tribute penny, and the gospel story is an important factor in making this coin attractive to collectors. The inscription reads, Tiberius Caesar, divine Augustus, all right, Filius Augustus, Caesar Augustus Tiberius, son of the divine Augustus. So And we know that Tiberius was the son of Augustus Caesar, right? Claiming that after death, Augustus had become a god. So after death, they exalt you to God status. The reverse shows a seated female, usually identified as Livia, depicted as Pax. Okay. So they were trying to trap the Lord up, like, well, look, it says on this penny, it says what it says, so do you believe that, is Augustus Caesar, is he a god? Because they say we're supposed to pay taxes. Do you believe that inscription? And the Lord, man, give him what is his, and then give the Most High what is the Most High's. They knew he's the son of the Most High. So they was trying to, play mind games with Yahushua. But you had that energy back then. All right, nothing new under the sun. These Roman emperors were seen as gods, man. So it's nothing new under the sun how they're treating Donald Trump, which is the modern day emperor. He's, president, and they're trying to say like he's a god. So let me bring this back.
When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
They do not worship the Most High. Their brand of Christianity is not the Christianity that you think. All right. And then pretty soon, it's going to be illegal to go against the grain. Whatever, religion that they are into, they're going to require that for the rest of the people. You can't have your own belief. You got to see, the small hat people, they're the chosen people. You can't say nothing against them. You can't say nothing against the Zionist regime. To go against Trump is like going against God. And that's how, going back to the ancient Greco-Roman period, Antiochus Epiphanes, I believe that word, I want to say Antiochus, it means God manifested, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, Salakia, not Antiochus, Epiphanes, the surname, Antiochus the fourth. Epiphanes means God manifest, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Epiphanes means manifest, illustrious, or God manifest. All right, and this man, he thought that he was on the level of a god. He even thought he was Zeus, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And when you read Daniel, the 7th chapter, he thought that changed times and laws, and he wore out the saints of the Most High, thinking that he was on the level of a god. And we saw how the Lord did him when you read 2 Maccabees, the 9th chapter. The Lord has a way of destroying your idols when they don't give glory to the Most High, like he did Herod. Let's go to that account in Acts. Is it 12? It is Acts 12. Acts 12 and 20, and it says, now Herod is in the NLT. Now Herod was very angry with the people of Tyre and Zidon. So they sent a delegation to make peace with them because their cities were dependent upon Herod's country for food. The delegates won the support of Blastus, Herod's personal assistant, and an appointment with Herod was granted. When the day arrived, Herod put on his royal robe, sat on his throne, and made a speech to them. You see these, your president today, He put on his tailor-made suit with his tie, and he comes right to, the podium of wherever they have him, in the royal court, or the White House. You can't. There's a fence around it, and basically that big fence around the White House is like a gun line. You better not hop that fence, right? You begin ready to make a big speech. That means all, news segments, they gotta, tune to him. They gotta, shift whatever program that they was on and go straight live to the White House, right? The people gave him a great ovation, shouting, "It's the voice of a God, not of a man." Instantly, an angel of the Lord struck Herod with a sickness because he accepted the people's worship instead of giving glory to the Most High. So he was consumed with worms and died. So he went out the same way that Epiphanes did. This is what happens when you exalt yourself. You got people around you, praising you, letting that praise get to your head. All that flattery. So no wonder why, they're not fearful to, speak great things and blasphemies, against the heavens, man. Just meanwhile, the word of the Most High continued to spread, and there were many new believers. So the Lord, he got examples. He made examples. All right. So let's go back and finish this video out.
Stand is holy.
What's holy about that? This man is clearly on file with Epstein, and they've been doing everything in their power to redact and suppress, all the information that's coming out. Ain't nothing holy about none of these people. All right, you're actually profane. The Lord would never allow any of these devils near his. If he still had the physical temple that we were to worship at, none of them would be allowed. You're filthy. All right, Edomite primarily is definitely profane. It tells you that in Hebrews 12:16, lest there be any fornicator or profane man as Esau. All right, profane literally means ungodly, ungodly, profane, outside of the temple. So there's nothing holy about any of these people, man. Nothing holy about molesting little children. Nothing is nothing holy about that. Committing genocide so that you can take their resources. That's what he's getting ready to do in Venezuela. You want the oil, you want to control the drugs, and then you're causing another war front over in Nigeria because you're in a arms race with China and Russia to secure certain minerals and resources. China has a footing over there, and Russia. So now here you come. Well, I'm finna come on the Western front through Nigeria. And then Rwanda and the Congo, y'all got gold and, titanium and whatever else that they're trying to go for.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that. We are in a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken. Let it be torn down in the name of Jesus. You want me to tell you what my thoughts are? The thoughts of the King of Kings, the thoughts of the Lord of Lords. I'm downloading heaven. Hey!
This is all demonic. This is all demonic, man. And the reason why these presidents are seen as gods, is going back to the Roman Empire, all right? They would these emperors would be deified, especially after death. Now, in the case of Trump, remember when he had his inauguration, um, they actually had him sworn in under what they call the apotheosis of Washington, right? It says here the phrase apotheosis of Donald Trump's inauguration is a rhetorical and analytical expression used by commentators to describe two specific aspects of his inaugurations, particularly the most recent one in January 2025. Symbolic location. News outlets and opinion writers noted the irony of Trump being sworn in inside the Capitol Rotunda due to cold weather, directly beneath the fresco called the Apotheosis, right, or the Apotheosis of Washington. This artwork depicts George Washington ascending to heaven and becoming a god, which critics use to highlight what they perceive as Trump's self-aggrandizing and divinely ordained self-image. Nothing new under the sun, man. This is another Roman emperor back in his lot. We believe he's Nero. All right. You had a man that referred to Nero as his god. What was his name? I think it started with a. Let me do this. Yeah, it says, yes, Nero was seen as divine by many during his reign, especially outside Rome through the imperial cult, but he wasn't formally deified by the Senate. After death, he cultivated godlike associations with Apollo and Sol, the sun, and depicted himself with solar iconography like the Colossus, and was considered an anti-Christ figure by early Christians who saw him as a blasphemous godlike tyrant, cementing his complex divine image. That's Trump all the way. Can't tell me that ain't Trump. Okay. But there was a guy that actually called him his God. Or I think, let me see this one. Yeah, Pterodates. Yeah, I'm trying to find the statement. All right, let me do this. Yeah. All right, here we go. It says Pterodates was king of Armenia from 52 to 58 and 62 to 88. He was a Zoroastrian priest, and he was accompanied by other Magian, his like other Magi's on his journey to Rome, where he was crowned king of Armenia by Nero in 66 AD. Dio Cassius quotes Tiridates the first of Armenia addressing Nero during his visit to Rome in 63. These were his words: "Master, I am the descendant of Arsaces, brother of the kings Vologiasis and Pacorus, and thy slave, and I have come to thee, my God, to worship thee as I do Mithras. The destiny thou spinnest for me shall be mine, for thou art my fortune and my fate." So he came to Nero and basically told him that, hey, you're my God, and I come to worship you as I worship my God. And who was Mithras, also known as the Mithraic Mysteries, or the cult of Mithras, was a Roman mystery religion focused on the god Mithras. All right. So I guess he was like a sun god, or, whatever the case, so this is their nature. And then you got guys in Israel that believe that these kind of people can be saved. All right. So Nero is nothing new under the sun, man. Apotheosis, deification, 1600s from Latin, late Latin, apotheosis, deification, especially of an emperor or royal person. All right. Deify, make someone a god. And when they did that up under that, that portrait, all right, the Capitol Rotunda, yeah, that was all symbolism that they was going to exalt this dude. He's a sworn in small hat. Pretty much, he's serving their interests now, so they made him a god. And so that's why the Lord's going to come back and do what he's going to do. All right, let me go to Psalm 9 and verse 20, and it says, "Make them tremble," Psalm 9 and 20, "make them tremble in fear, O Yahweh. Let the nations know they are merely human." And the Lord's going to bring them down. Matter of fact, when we start at 19, it says, "Arise, O Yahweh, do not let mere mortals defy you. Judge the nations, make them tremble in fear, O Yahweh. Let the nations know they are merely human." All right, and that's why he's when he comes back, he ain't gonna meet them as a man. I'm gonna show y'all what a God is really like. When Yahweh Shai shows up with the angels, with Michael, which Ma'ika means one who is like God, or the power, he's gonna show them what it's really like to be a God. Okay? And then we're the princes of the power. Wait till the Lord raise us up and start lifting up them standards, man. All right, so yeah, man. We'll get a few more and then we'll close. It is Isaiah 31 and 3 in the NLT. It says, "For these Egyptians," these Americans, these Babylonians, same thing, "are mere humans, not the Most High God. Their horses are puny flesh, not mighty spirits. When the Lord raises his fist against them, those who will help will stumble, and those being helped will fall. They will all fall down and die together." All right. Yep. Ezekiel 28 and 2, "Son of man, give the prince of Tyre this message from the sovereign Lord." The Lord always made examples out of guys who exalted themselves. All right. Or people exalted them to God's status. Now, there's one thing, you prostrate yourself as a token of reverence to someone. All right. But these devils, they're definitely not God status. You don't worship them. It says, "In your great pride, you claim, I am a God. I sit on a divine throne in the heart of the sea. But you are only a human and not a God, though you boast that you are a God. Will you then boast, I am a God, to those who kill you? To them, you will be no God, but merely a man." Especially them Russians. All right. Them BRICS countries that's preparing and getting themselves ready. Yeah, they're not going to see you as a God when that day comes, man. All right. You're going to get fired upon. So, Yeah, I just had to do a response to this, man. I was like, wow, really? Let me go in and do a quick video. You know, the nerve of these devils, man. Y'all gonna be brought to nothing. Y'all gonna be in pits. Nobody's gonna think of you highly at all, ever, when the Lord brings you down to the ground. You know, even Isaiah the 14th chapter, they're gonna narrowly look down upon you. Say, is this the man that did, you know, shake the kingdoms? You know, is the man that did all this him? How have Lucifer fallen from heaven, man? Anyway, I'm gonna close. I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shai. And then to the next lesson, I'll say Shalom.